Okay, I'm pleased to say I'm here with Pete Waterman at the latest Making Tracks exhibition at Chester Cathedral. Hello, Pete.
How are we?
Good, thank you. It's a fantastic display on today. Already a good crowd.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we had a record crowd for the cathedral's ever had, so yeah, we'll break all the records, which is what we set out to do. It's a tough time for everybody, I know, at the minute.
Yes.
So we pitched the price, it's only £3, kids under 5 are free, and everybody's been very generous this year.
Yes. And I believe it's the third instalment of Making Tracks, is that right?
Yes. So we did one, which should have been in lockdown year, but it was a year late, and it changed from what it was originally going to be to what it was.
Yes.
And last year we did what we thought was our last one, and then we were so successful last year. They said, "Could you come back this year?" But we're not back next year. We definitely can't come back next year. So yes. We're looking at 2025 finishing the whole trilogy off.
Yes. And the layout this time, I believe it's based on Milton Keynes Central Station. We can see the sign there.
Yeah. Well, I have a house in London, so I come down to London 2 days a week. So, because I work for the railway, and yes. I just love, the Milton Keynes Station to me. I obviously watched it be built in the 80s.
Yes.
As we were, topping in the charts, and I once went there with the specials and got lost when it wasn't even called Milton Keynes. So, it's been important. And what we've learnt over the two previous exhibitions is kids love movement trains.
Yes.
And so the challenge was to build a station where there's only one station where there's lots of movement. That's Milton Keynes, because it's what we call a bi-directional station.
Yes.
Which means all platforms can be used either way, which means there's lots of movement.
Yes, because you've got high-speed trains passing through, you've got goods trains, you've got the lot, haven't you, at Milton Keynes?
Yeah. And you've got, so on platforms 5 and 6, which are the nearest to you,
yes, you
can have a train standing for Manchester, or in fact it'll be a Liverpool,
yes,
where Manchester passes at 125 miles an hour.
Yes.
Now that's unique to that happens all the time.
Yes.
Which is why we did it.
And it's quite a layout today because it's a bi-directional layout, isn't it, as well?
You can go both ways, and,
yes.
and of course there's a few problems, but we haven't seen that problem. Everybody's got used to it.
Okay.
So
yes.
It's adds interest in the operating.
Yes. And people can not only watch the trains but come down and control them as well.
Yeah, I mean it's made for for people to come and enjoy.
Yes.
It's not made for us to show people how clever we are.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. It's like come along and get involved. You can enjoy it.
Yes.
So you're not going to have a 64-foot layout in your back garden, are you, or in your loft. You can come down here and play with it, and that's what we want. That's
That's right.
And it's working. It's fantastic.
Yes. Now, along with music, rail has been the big love for you all your life, really, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a train set since 1948, and
yes.
I've not had a year when I haven't got a model railway. So
yes.
I may not been, in the 80s, I was really busy, but in my office I had, I had model railways.
Yes.
And I did Pete Waterman on trains was 2002 after Popeye.
Oh yes.
And I announced at the end of the show that I've talked about my model railway so much about time I went and built one.
Yes.
And that's when I started Leamington Spa.
Okay.
So,
yes.
It's... Yes. And it's been good to me, I had some pretty hard years with family problems.
Yes.
I've been able to go in the railway room and just get on with it.
Yes.
And, just chill out.
Yes. I guess it's nice to have something away from music that you can do as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I say this is not fraught, and it is, of course, because you've got a deadline. We don't start till October, November. Well, we don't start till November, and we know we have to be finished by really, May the 1st.
Yes.
And then it's all tweaking from then, because we can't put this length up until we get here. So we've never tried, tested it until we get here.
Oh, right, so it's the first time it's actually been assembled fully in the cathedral.
Just don't have the space.
No, well, it is a huge space here, yes. Now, I believe it's going to be set up later in the year at other locations, is that right?
It goes from here to Milton Keynes in October,
Yes.
where we're going to join all three together
Oh, right.
to make 174 feet,
Right.
which is an amazing,
Wow.
feat. It's amazing.
Is that going to be in sort of a big conference centre or?
No, it's in the football stadium.
Oh, right, okay.
There's a theatre effectively, or a hall on the end of the
Yes.
football stadium, and it's in there.
Right. Okay. That's easy for people to find then.
Yeah, and there's buses from the station. So if you come by train, you go into Bletchley or Milton Keynes. There's a bus service.
Yes.
Because the Milton Keynes Dons are playing on the Saturday.
Oh, right. Okay. I might get some more football
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. I might go and watch the game myself. I
Yes. Now, some people may not know, but throughout your years in the music industry, you were a regular commuter on the West Coast Line, weren't
Oh
you?
yeah. I've been travelling since 1968.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've said to all my mates, there's quite a few here. They're not today; they're on holiday, but quite a few of the old train drivers are part of my little group,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they've all done sort of 30, 40 years. I've actually done 50 years, and at one time for 15 years, I was travelling up and down 6 days a week.
Oh, right.
Before I bought a house in London.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
it was like I lived on the train,
Yes.
and I was still DJing at night. So, and the great thing was with the service on the West Coast, I could catch the 6:10 from Euston,
Yes.
and I was in Coventry at 7:15. It meant I was at the venue for 8 o'clock, which was perfect.
Oh, right. So you were able to do both.
Yeah, I did both. Yeah, I had to. That's the way.
Yes.
You had to pay the rent.
In the early days, yes. Yes. And then in later years, you were more in the Warrington area. Is that right? So,
I moved to Warrington in '82.
okay.
So I've been up here now actually longer than I lived in Coventry.
Yes, because you were born and bred Coventry.
Yes, so I've lived up here since '82,
Yes.
and I shall finish my days up here, I hope. I've kept my house in London,
Yes.
although there is no need for it now. So at my age, I'm trying to sell it at the minute
Right.
because the cost of running your life for two homes.
Yes.
At my age, supposed to be retired, it's pretty difficult.
Yes. Yes. It's so.
I've
Yeah.
got trains to buy.
Well, and there's certainly been a lot of changes on the West Coast Line during that time. I mean, obviously,
Oh.
pre-Pendolino, the sort of diesel trains, and then into Pendolinos, and
Oh, you must remember, I started commuting the minute that steam came off.
okay,
So,
all right.
so in '68,
Yes.
the electrification from Birmingham New Street kicked in.
Yes.
The original trains in '68 were 2 hours.
Oh, yes.
They were the steam trains. They were the fastest service, by the way, on the railway.
Yes.
So it went down to 1 hour 26, which meant that Coventry was an hour.
Yes.
So I could actually be in London. I lived in Crouch End for a while. It was quicker to get from Coventry to Euston than it was
Yes.
from Crouch End to Borough.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. Of course, once the Pendolinos arrived, it was even faster. I mean, Warrington, I think these days in 2 hours you can.
Yeah. I mean,
Slightly under.
and as much as I love the railway, in the '70s, particularly '70s, it fell apart. I mean,
right. Yes.
you couldn't catch a train in certainty, and it wasn't because of disputes. It was because everything was falling apart.
Yes.
The investment was missing. The staff were dissatisfied. They were unhappy. They knew it wasn't going anywhere.
Yes.
I mean, I remember going to a board meeting once, a BR board meeting, where I was told if they painted your station, it was being closed.
All right.
Yeah, they used to paint the station, then go out to ask, whether there was any need for it, and then close it. So I remember going to a BR board meeting with Chris Green, and I told him they were painting Runcorn Station, and he was saying to me, "Oh, well, that means it's being closed." That was the attitude,
Gosh.
And these were great railwaymen, by the way. So they did,
Yes.
but they were not in charge. Railwaymen were not in charge. It was being, successive governments, don't matter what political persuasion you are. The railway has suffered from political interference since 1948.
Yes. Yes.
It really has. And anybody thinks that privatisation changed and it's still being run by the DFT. It's still the same people.
Yes.
Where does the money come from for Virgin and all companies? It comes from the DFT. So when they don't want a train to run, they don't run it. Because
Yes.
they're told they can't.
That's right, yes. Yeah, so, well, I guess with recent problems on the railways, it's nice for people to be able to come to a layout today where there's guaranteed no strikes or no...
Well, I've settled
like
with all my ASLEF members.
Oh, right. So,
all my ASLEF members are settled. All the RMT guys are happy. They've got what they want.
right. So,
I don't pay them anything, and they're long hours,
Yes.
and they get a sandwich at lunchtime. What more could they want?
yes. That's great. Now, in terms of people getting to the layout, it's open 10:30 till 5.
So it's open 10 till 5,
Yes.
every day except Sunday.
Okay.
Oh, on Saturdays we have to close at 4,
Yes.
because they have a service at 5.
Right, yes. And it runs through to
September the 2nd.
September the 2nd, I believe. Yes. All right, that's great. Have you a message for people wanting to come down?
Please come, you'll enjoy it, and come and you know, please use it. It's here, so ask for your driver's tickets. How many driver's tickets we've done so far? 6. Yeah, it's still only just gone 11.
Yes.
So by the end of the day, we'll have passed out 190 drivers.
Oh, nice.
Perhaps the government should come to us to learn how to train drivers.
Yes, well, certainly things seem to be running on time
Yeah.
here. And I believe as well that you can actually run trains in real time here because you've got a live feed to Milton Keynes train station, so you can...
Yes, we have, but also every train's got, like the real railway, has got an IP.
Yes.
So as they pass the reader, it shows the driver exactly where that train's going in real time,
Right.
and shows them which platform they're going to stop at,
Yes.
how long they have to stop, and all the stops after that. So the kid can actually see if he's going to Piccadilly, it will show him the Stafford time, it will show him the Winslow time.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
You mentioned later in the year that you're going to be putting the layouts together in one big layout, but after that, have you any other stations or layouts that are in your mind in the future to do? Or
Yeah, well, I'd like to. The Dean has said he wants us back in 2025.
Oh,
so
okay.
we can't come back in 2024.
Right.
And we want to do something spectacular
Yes.
for the last one.
Oh, yes.
And I've got a couple of things that I'm really keen on doing.
Right.
But it's overcoming the logistics.
Oh, yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Because it takes 2 trips to get 64 feet here. To get all 3 layouts to here would probably take us 10 trips.
Yes.
Well, it's a whole day.
All right, to set
So,
up.
you know, it would take us a week to get it all set up.
So to give people an idea, is it a whole day to get the basic structure in place here?
No, it takes us about 2.5 hours. But
Right.
you've got to come, you've got to bring it. You can't bring it all in one van.
Of course, yes.
So
yes.
the first van comes, it's 2 hours before I get back with the second half.
Ah, right. So
So if you had the lot here, you'd probably put it up in about 2.5 hours.
Yes.
But because it's 2 journeys, it's 4 hours.
I see. Yes.
Yeah, then you've got to join all the wires up where the baseboards are.
Yes.
Then you've got to settle it in, you've got to put all the stock on. So it's 2 days' work. So technically, if you try and bring 3, you're looking at 6 days.
Yes.
In theory.
Yes. We must just ask you also about your full-scale trains, because as some people may know, you have invested in some old stock that used to run up and down the railway. And
Yeah, well, I've got 5 steam engines and 6 diesels.
Yes.
Don't have any coach anymore. I've given all them to the Pacific Railways.
Okay.
Currently, my Great Western Prairie is down at Bodmin and Winsford.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's thrown a valve ring.
Right.
So that's 6,000 quid worth of damage.
Oh, right.
But no, it's you know, I've bought a lot of stuff for privatised, you know, for preservation.
Yes.
And I've left a legacy, and that's all I wanted to do. Because I started when electric trains first came out.
Yes.
You know, that allowed me to do my job as I did. So I made sure that every one of the electrics was preserved.
Yes.
So we do have that whole AL1 to AL6. We've got them all.
Okay.
They don't work, but they're there for people to see how crude they actually were by the standards of Pendolinos.
Yes. Well, of course, there was the APT, wasn't there, before?
Yes, we got the APT. Well, preserved the APT at Crewe.
Yes, you can see that as you come through on the train. You can see it by the side of the...
Yeah, so we got that to there.
Yes.
So we've done our bit.
And it could have worked, actually, couldn't it? APT, perhaps at the time, it was...
Well, the bogies are the same that are on the Pendolinos. The
Yeah.
difference is, of course, it's the bogies that tilt, not the carriages.
Ah, that's the
I mean,
difference
that's
now.
where they got it wrong.
Ah, okay, yes. So your drinks used to spill all over the place, I think, on the APT.
Yeah, they did, but also, doesn't that when you get everybody drunk, take them on the strip, and it gets locked off on the tilt? You know, like
yes.
this.
Yes, it would sometimes lock into position.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Good.
thanks for speaking to us today, Pete.
Pleasure.
I think people may be able to see you around the circuit today, perhaps.
Yeah, well, you can see it getting busy now.
Yes. It's great to speak to you, and we hope to catch you at the next layout.
Bless you.